This is what we're going to produce. So we're going to combine some of the things we've done previously. We're going to make a little logo animation here. We're going to place it on this billboard within the scene. And then we're also going to use rotoscoping to rotoscope out this car, so when it passes the logo it appears to pass in front of it. Okay, the camera tracker, what it does is it creates track points that basically reads the camera movement in the scene and then recreates 3D track points in space that follow each frame of the camera movement. Okay, first thing is to, once you've downloaded the footage, import it in, right click project panel, import file. We can create import as composition, it's fine. Select the footage, create composition. So we're going to use the tracker panel again. You open the tracker panel and you'll see the track camera button here. Okay, if we select that and then you leave the PC to analyze the footage frame by frame and track the camera movement frame by frame. Other thing just to mention, actually, if you go to, it will pop up the 3D camera tracker properties here. If you expand advanced and just tick detailed analysis. The area we're interested in is the actual billboard at the back here. So we can zoom in on that a bit. We can scrub the footage to a point where it's a bit more visible as well. And then you see if I mouse over the track point, you get this kind of disc appears. So what it's trying to do is create a plane to place an object on. So it's triangulating the position in 3D space of a plane. So what we can also do, if we go to here, we can change the size of the track points to make them bigger, more visible if we want, and we can change the target size, the disc that you can see that's kind of appearing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just drag a selection. So if I hold down Control and drag a selection around some of the track points on the billboard here. Okay. Alright, then I'm going to right click on that selected area and we're going to select Create Solid in Camera. Okay, and you'll see that creates a layer there. And you'll see it's placed the solid in the scene here. Now at the moment it's not the orientation that I want at all, so I'm going to have to adjust the orientation of that solid. Okay, if I click on the track solid layer now, you'll see that the little kind of gizmo appears that now allows me to transform it in 3D space. So it needs to do a bit of work on it. It's way too big, so I need to flip it round so it's facing us, and then I need to scale it down. Okay, again holding shift when I scale it can constrain the proportions. And now obviously we want it to, the position to be tracked reasonably closely to the billboard. So that's not too bad, so I'm reasonably happy with that. Okay, I'm then going to turn this into a pre-composition. So if I right click on the track solid layer, select pre-compose, I'll just call it comp 1. Okay, leave all the attributes, that's fine. And then that's like a composition that I can go inside. I've still got my track solid in there, but I can then replace it with other assets, so I can bring anything in here. It could be video, it could be animation. I'm going to create a simple animation, it's just animated text. Alright, so right click, new text. So again, this is something we've done before. I'm going to type out my text, just go inside the properties of the text. Again, I can scale this up to be a reasonable size. I'll center it. Again, I can center it using the properties here. Now I also want to animate it, so I'm going to use a technique we've used before, which is basically an expression just to loop a simple animation. Insert a keyframe, opacity 100. Then if I use page down, press that 5 times to move 5 frames ahead. Insert another keyframe, reduce opacity to 0. Again, page down 5 times. Insert another keyframe and opacity up to 100. We've got our basic flash animation here, so the logo's flashing on and off. We right click on that and select toggle hold keyframe so it doesn't play beyond that point, and then finally alt click on the opacity timer. That will open the expression, and we're going to type in loop out again as we've done before. You'll see the pop up, select loop out, double click on that, and that will now just loop through that animation. Okay, so we've got our little animation. If we click at the top left here, get back to the footage, you'll see now if I scrub the playhead, we have our logo animation, and now it just tells me that the orientation is wrong, so I just need to adjust that. Again, with the selection tool, I can just spin this round and adjust things a bit. You can see that you should be able to see that that's animating, it's flashing on and off. Okay, and it seems to track reasonably well with the billboard, so reasonably happy with that. Okay, finally to rotoscope this so the car appears to pass in front of the logo, select the footage layer, Control D to duplicate it, drag the duplicated footage layer to the top of the layer pile, select RotoBrush, okay, and then if we double click on that new footage layer to go into the layer itself, we can then, I'm going to just scrub to a point where I get a pretty good view of the car. Can zoom in a bit, and then we're going to rotoscope the car. So I'm going to draw a basic outline around the main body of the car. Okay, and that's rotoscoped that pretty nicely. I'm not going to, again, we can go in and refine this if we want, and again, you know about the refine edge tool, which you can use if you know you want to refine the edges. It will start to propagate the frames, so it will now apply that rotoscope selection to each frame. It will recognize the car in each frame, hopefully. And you should see now in the main composition, as I start to scrub the playhead backwards and forwards, you can see now the car appears to be passing in front of the logo. So again, like I said, if you want to refine it, you can double click on that top footage layer, go back inside and adjust the rotoscopes, particularly if there are certain points in the footage where you know the rotoscoping's doesn't work quite as well. You can go back in and either add or subtract to the rotoscoped area. Okay, and then very finally, once you're happy with the results, you can export that as an MP4. So file, again, you know this process, file export, and if you go through media encoder and export as an MP4. Okay.